Whitebird will be joining us shortly. Markham.
Here.
Miller is absent with notice. Rahman.
Present.
Long.
Here.
Spiz.
Present.
Smith Charles is joining us remote, non-voting. Johnson.
Here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good thing I didn't sleep in.
Commissioner, everyone kindly join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Only an hour and a half.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everyone, just before we get started here, could you all just refresh one more time, just in case we had some shuffling around of a few things this morning? And then when I am asking about the agenda, we're talking about the one on your screen, not paper if we have that. But that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes dated November 13th, 2024, moved by Commissioner Rahman, seconded by Commissioner Long. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Minutes have been approved. I would entertain a motion to approve today's agenda on your screens, moved by Commissioner Spiz, seconded by Commissioner Markham. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Our agenda's been approved. Anyone from the public wishing to address us on anything on today's agenda, please come before. No one on today's agenda. All right, cool. Moving on then, and I need to not look at my paper. I have 3 communications today. Sorry. No, all good. 3 also, my phone is done. And I know that I remember the things that can be combined, because that's enough that I left on my phone. 3 communication items today. Is there any opposition to moving them all together? No? All right, then I would entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Long, seconded by Commissioner Whitebird. All in favor, please say aye of approving the communication item. Oh, discussion, sure.
Aye.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Discussion.
I just have
Oh, you got a
a
question?
comment or request on 7C from Oakland Thrive, and I see Laura is on there.
Sure.
I appreciate the report, and I appreciate the summary and the details, but I'm just wondering if we can get a little more. It shows how many meetings we've had or how many businesses we've touched, which is all good, but is there a way we can, this is gonna be difficult, don't get me wrong. Somehow find a way to measure effectiveness. Right? We've met and we've done trainings, we've done this, we've done that, but is there a way to somehow come up with a KPI to judge, are we being effective? You know, we can have all the meetings in the world, all the trainings in the world, but if they don't take hold, it's just a waste of time and effort.
Laura,
Trying to
thanks for
figure that
joining.
out.
Thoughts?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it's one we've been wrestling with a little bit here is what is that measurable number? Is it, people applying for grants, loans, and success rates there? Is it payback? Is it growth in the industry? What is that KPI? I think it's a great question, and I would ask perhaps if I could have some time to talk with Dom Holmes and some of the other folks in the department and come back to you with some suggestions of what those KPIs may look like.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, I appreciate that, and if I can help in any way too, if you wanna toss some things off me for some ideas, I'd be more open to
Yeah.
have those conversations. Excellent.
That would be wonderful. And if this committee is thinking of specific KPIs you'd like to look at, we certainly can do that. I know we are evaluating every single one of our meetings. Certainly longitudinal data is going to be important with this. So from the time we meet with them, what is their health and the health of the company throughout? One stumbling block I will tell you we found is when they're experiencing success, they don't necessarily always reach back to us. It's when they're still struggling that they continue the conversation. So it's figuring out how to maintain those relationships so we are able to get a really good, accurate read of those KPIs to know what success looks like. So any suggestions from you all as to what you'd like to see, we'd be more than happy to do that. And I'll work with Dom and a few others to come back to you with some suggestions.
Thank you. I'll try to do that. Commissioner Rahman.
Thank you. Actually, I had the same comment and question as my fellow commissioner here. My other question relates to sustainability. And I know we've talked previously about, how long we can allow this program to go, or if there's opportunities to continue this moving forward. Do we have any updates in terms of funding and kind of what we're looking like once this pot of money runs out?
Another great question, and one that we, as we're finishing the year this year, we intended in January, February to come back with you with a more comprehensive kind of annual report for you to be able to see where we are and how things are going. We did successfully complete our very first nonprofit audit that came back with, I think in audit terms, no findings, which is positive, that the operations of the organization are strong. We also completed our first 990 tax filing, which will be available for the public to see. So all of that is happening, and our intention was to come back in January, February with a more comprehensive report as it relates to health and wellness of organization and the program.
Thank you.
Good. Any other discussion on these items?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be time and type of business and follow-up, right? Whatever, depending on the type of business might be how they measure it, right? And but you can only measure some of these after a period, so that's, I know Laura mentioned that, so. But that's good information, but I know you can't have it today, so, but it's coming.
Commissioner?
Just one other comment, Laura. One thing I did notice in the report is from an IT perspective, which was kind of surprising to me, I think there was only one session or one business that took advantage of the IT training.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting to me, so I don't know if that's because all the other ones are higher on their importance list today. Sometimes people don't think of their IT infrastructure until later, which may not be the best way to do it. It's usually too late because you want that IT infrastructure up front so that you can help build your business quicker. So to me, it's maybe something.
That's exactly what's happening, Commissioner Spiz, is we've offered, I want to say, somewhere in the past year, somewhere between 6 and 10 IT trainings, and the registrations and the appetite for those trainings isn't there. We have 3 or 4 IT consultants we're working with, and what we're finding right now, and it's a problem we need to solve, is people are interested in IT when they're in trouble and not interested in IT when they're not. So we're working on coming up with a marketing approach to try to get people to really tackle this IT stuff and cybersecurity before they need it.
It's good to hear, good to hear. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
And that may just be a way to market it, get a good slogan, here we are, here, let's get it before you're doomed, or, just some kind of good tagline. Here's the seminar to save you before it happens, right?
Help us help.
Yeah, well, and it's coming for all of us, I don't think any small business is immune from getting phishing emails or any of that sort of stuff. So I agree with you. It's important, and that's a nut we need to crack for sure. HR is the other one that I'm surprised we haven't had more takers on. We hear about hiring challenges and the ability to attract and retain staff, but yet folks aren't really interested in when we put those out there and signing up for them. So I think a little bit more proactive work as it relates to getting people to work on both their human resources and their information technology is important.
On the note of IT, only when you're in trouble and not proactively, NACO had an interesting webinar yesterday about how counties should be using .gov instead of .com. And that's a thought that I've had recurringly. It's not a hill I'm going to take up before the end of the year, but if anyone in the room is interested in having that conversation with me come New Year, love to have that conversation. Any other discussion on communication items? No?
You have a hand raised.
All right. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Is there a hand
That might have
raised?
been Commissioner Smith.
Commissioner Smith-Charles said.
She brought that forward.
Yeah, so I wanted to see if you could tell that I raised my hand. I joined the meeting non-voting via Civic Clerk, so shout out to me. Laura,
Yeah, we missed your comments here, so I'm glad you're on the phone.
just BOI event yesterday for those who are LLC owners, corporation owners who were quickly shuffling to do this BOI. Someone can Google what that stands for, but basically my experience was positive. I would really like Commissioner Spiz and others who I know are maybe owner operators or at least in the business sector, Mr. Weipert as well, to sign up for their Oakland Thrives, what do you call it, email blasts or whatever, because typically I don't know anything going on with Oakland. I don't want to say it like that, but I feel like I don't know as much going on with Oakland Thrive as a commissioner as I do as a business person in the community, because I've signed up for that digest. And I would just encourage all of us on EDI and even those who will be leaving EDI soon to get on that mailing list, just so that we can not only have it from a governance standpoint, but also from a practical. Thank you, Chair.
Already on it,
Thank you, I appreciate that.
already get it.
Yeah, I'm not.
And Commissioner Smith Charles, just to follow up on that, I got an email from the Small Business Association this morning that our training on the Corporate Transparency Act, which was what we did yesterday, and it's a big thing for small businesses, now may be moot because it looks like there's some movement and some change in that. So we'll stay up to date with all that and we'll let you know what happens as we go.
Awesome. All right, motion on the table is approval of the minutes. I'm sorry,
Receive and file.
that is what I meant. Thank you. That's what I thought in my head, but I did not say out of my mouth. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Great. Communications have been received and they've been filed duly. Moving on then to our consent agenda, we have only one item. I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board, I believe,
So moved.
FY '25. Thank you. Commissioner Spiz moves that. Commissioner Rahman seconds that. Discussion on this road improvement, tri-party road improvement? No? Awesome. Mr. Good, would you please prompt that one?
Uh-oh, Phil.
Oh, that was 5.
Yeah, 5 scoring.
So just, guys, no one else is allowed to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah,
You have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
yeah, 5 scoring. We have 6 here today.
This is a motion day. Phil's been getting phone calls all morning.
really?
So, yeah.
Looks like it Wednesday morning, busy
Wednesdays,
for a
yeah.
lawyer.
Moving on then, we've got one executive department recommendation, which is the appointment of Dom Holmes to be the Oakland County Economic Development Director. Moved by Commissioner Markham, seconded by Commissioner Spiz. Hi there.
Good morning, Commissioners. How are you?
Morning.
Thank you for having me.
Who are you again?
You're right, I should have started with that. My name is Dom Holmes. I'm the Deputy Director of Economic Development for Oakland County. So if you don't mind, I've taken the liberty of preparing some very brief remarks.
Sure.
Out of respect for this body. So members of the Board of Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity to address you as you consider my appointment as Director of Economic Development for Oakland County. It has been a privilege to serve our community, most recently as our Deputy Director and previously as the Administrator of Emerging Growth and Innovation. These roles have equipped me with the expertise and vision necessary to advance Oakland County's economic development agenda. Over the years, I've led initiatives that have directly impacted our economy, including securing and administering millions in federal and local grants, thanks to this body and the Board of Commissioners at large. These efforts have supported businesses in navigating COVID-19 challenges, adopting advanced manufacturing technologies, and pursuing federal contracting opportunities as well. My leadership in developing Oakland County's Economic Development Strategic Plan and Mobility Strategic Plan reflect my commitment to creating data-driven, forward-thinking strategies that position our county as a global economic hub, continue to position it as a hub. Beyond policy and funding, I have prioritized collaboration, working with local, state, and federal partners, as well as the diverse businesses that we serve. These partnerships have fostered growth in aerospace, defense, mobility, and technology industries while promoting inclusivity through initiatives like the $4 million revolving loan fund, which provides support to small businesses across our county. If appointed as director, I will continue to build on this foundation, championing innovation, equity, sustainable growth to ensure Oakland County remains a model for economic development and all corners of the county benefit as we continue to move forward together. So I want to thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for coming. Questions, Commissioner Spiz?
Yeah, I usually ask this question to candidates when we interview them for things. What, I mean, cause you look at your resume and I know I've been with you at some events and some things outside of the county. And I know you're very busy, but what do you do in your free time? What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I've got 3 kids, you know.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
that's tons of
so-
fun.
So I have 2 loves, my family and this work, and
Gotcha.
they take up 95% of my time, to be frank. Beyond that, I enjoy woodworking. I'm not very good at it, but I do it anyway. I build tables, I build chairs for my own house. Those are the things that I enjoy, you know, when I got time, so.
Thank you.
Hey, Commissioner.
Dom, I think this is great. You know, I just wanted to clarify. So you're moving from deputy director to the director role, right?
Yes.
So what is, I guess, was there someone in this role previously, or I just want to understand the landscape of kind of what's going on here.
Yes, so Jean Broad.
I'm the current director of economic development.
Yes.
And
You wanna come up here?
support you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so Jean Broad has been our Director of Economic Development for the last year plus.
Right.
I expressed interest in this opportunity some time ago. I was given the opportunity to learn under Jean's tutelage, and she had spent a long time at MEDC and before that in the corporate world. And so there's been an opportunity to kind of learn from her as well as learn from all of our outstanding managers that make up our department. And so, yeah, Jean is
So
really.
let me just say a couple words. First of all, I will be retiring in January.
Okay,
I've
that's where
been
you're
with the
going.
county for about 3.5 years, 20 months of which I was the Director of Economic Development. I've been so proud to be able to serve the county for that period of time. It was just quite an honor to be able to contribute in a small way to the many things this county is doing to build its community, make a wonderful place to live, work. And I've been so proud to be here. I had planned to retire about 1.5 years ago for the 3rd time. And, but this will be
This is it.
pretty much it, except
This
I'm
is
going
it.
to be doing a little consulting. And so one of the the achievement I think I am most proud of is working to position Dom to take my place. And so over this past 1.5 years, he's done an incredible job at just taking the bull by the horns and going after these really tough projects, working with Thrive, taking on the Project Diamond. And right now, he's really spearheaded this whole effort to update our website so that we'll do a better job of sending our message to the not only the community, but the greater global community so that we know, what a great place this is and how to contact. So I'm very proud and honored to that Dom is here, and I thank you for your considerations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And on behalf of the deputies as well, we just wanted to acknowledge our support for Dom and the work that he's done since we have been here and how thrilled we are to put him in this position. And again, cannot thank Jean enough for her time and energy and what she has done for economic development in the last 3.5 years she's been here. So very excited to have him here.
Discussion. Congratulations on your early retirement.
For the 3rd time. For the 3rd time or 4th, that's what a lot of people do. Go when you're healthy.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, Jean, you've done a great job in the last time,
Thank you.
and congratulations, and Dom, you're everywhere doing it with a lot of energy, so.
But
This-
even
this
though
is
I
all
am
good.
retiring
This is
for the
good.
3rd time, I have 2 school-aged children because I adopted our great-grandchildren.
Oh,
So I have a
that's-
10-year-old
so
and a
you're busy.
13-year-old. So they will continue to keep me busy.
Love
Yeah,
that.
we know that.
Motion on the table is to recommend to the board. Mr. Clerk, please prompt the vote.
You have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Awesome.
One step closer.
Thank you.
Moving on then, to item
Yeah.
10. I would entertain a motion to recommend to finance. That's what I'm just noticing. Item 10A, grant acceptance for the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency for FY25 County Veterans Service Fund grant. Moved by Commissioner Whitebird, seconded by Commissioner Rahman. Hi, folks.
Morning. Garth Witten, Division Manager for Oakland County Veteran Services.
Tyrone Jordan, the grant administrator.
And this is a request for acceptance of a grant from the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency for the fiscal year 25 County Veterans Service Fund grant in the amount of $530,893. This is up, fiscal year 24 was $505,019. We're gonna utilize the funds for resource fairs, $364,500, which will support the approximately 6 resource fairs, maybe 7. $116,393 for marketing and $50,000 for transportation.
Questions, Commissioner?
And this is 6th year in a row, right, or?
Correct.
Yeah, so, and it's been working out, and some of the criticism or concerns been the marketing, but it turns out that is, it's been worthwhile spending that on marketing, right, I mean.
Yes, I mean, it has contributed to an increase in awareness of our resources that we offer. So we have been able to connect more veterans to their benefits. So we utilize it to make them aware of both our office and any new programs like the transportation program. We spend quite a bit on marketing to try and make them aware of that. So,
And then on the transportation, it'll be 5 days a week or 5?
7 days.
Back in only said 5.
Commissioner Robin, did I see your hand?
You saw my hand.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in today. I think most of the topic of discussion in the past has been the transportation versus marketing. Because we've been trying to flip that because we want to make sure all the veterans have the transportation. But I'm glad to see there's a lot more information in this packet this time that has to do with the transportation and dealing with SMART. They're gonna have to do it. It does say only 5 days in the packet
Oh, it does.
in agreement with SMART. So if you guys could reconfirm that, I'd appreciate that because I'd prefer 7 if we can get it.
Right.
But I wanted to question or comments on the marketing plan, because you guys put the detail on where you're marketing, which was great to see, get a better understanding of what radio stations you're using, what newspapers you're using, and what social media. Has there been any effort to understand the effectiveness of that marketing? What I mean by that, which one's better? I mean, how many hits are, for social media, how many hits are you getting here? Newspapers, are you really getting, have we done a survey with all the veterans saying, how did you hear about this? Did you hear it through the newspaper, through the radio, through social media, so that we can start aligning our marketing that gets the biggest bang for the buck, let's put it that way.
It's actually been across the board. I mean, just depending on the community. If you look at Waterford, it's gonna be more newspaper, your local newspaper. If it's Pontiac, it's gonna be the radio. So it just depends on which community. And they're all different. And actually, we took $40,000 out of marketing and put it in transportation.
And we do try to use different mediums because we want to make sure that we make everybody aware of it. So our older veterans may not be on the internet, on social media, so we do newspapers or direct mailings. Our younger veterans hopefully are listening to the radio or on social media, so we want to make sure that we direct it across the board and make sure as many veterans are aware of our services as possible.
With veterans under 35, we did find that streaming was very popular with Netflix and Hulu and things of that nature. And also they can do it on their smartphones. So that was very popular.
Thank you.
Yeah, you think you can forget about those young ones,
Yes. Motion on the table is recommend to finance, Mr. Clerk.
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you very much. Gents, why don't you just stay seated there? I would now entertain a motion to just recommend to the board item 10B, an interlocal agreement between SMART and Oakland County for FY25 Veterans Transportation. Commissioner Rahman moves, Commissioner Whitebird seconds that motion.
This is in accordance with the grant transportation program. We entered into an interlocal agreement with SMART as they're gonna administer this for it. Not only SMART provides the transportation, but they work with the other transportation providers, so NODA, WODA, People's Express, SMART, to make OPC, yes. To make sure that it's accessible throughout the county. And this is a continuation of the program that we started last June. From June 1st to September 30th, we had 2,749 rides that were utilized. So we anticipate that the $50,000 will be sufficient to cover the year. We pay about $2 a ride, so that'd be about $25,000 per ride, or 25,000 rides.
Oh, we need to switch it.
Well, I didn't confirm it. I just, going back to my earlier, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, for me. It's just item 1 on the service agreement says 5 days a week.
Yeah.
We'll double check
Yeah.
on
Double
that.
check that.
Yeah, put it in the resolution.
Some providers have limited I think it's like from 8 to 6 on
Right.
Sunday, and so they have limited times on the weekends. And each provider is a little different.
I can appreciate that, but maybe we just need to word it a little different. Say no less than this or something.
Alright. Motion on the table is recommended to the board, Mr. Cook.
Yes, 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Awesome. Thank you both. I would now entertain a motion to recommend to the board item 10C, grant acceptance from MDOT for improvement of runway lighting at Oakland Troy Airport, moved by Commissioner Markham, seconded by Commissioner Long.
Hello,
good morning.
We're all here though.
Morning, everyone. This is a phase 2 of a prior grant that we brought to you back in October, and this is for completion of the runway lighting rehabilitation at Oakland Troy Airport. It is a grant funded through MDOT through the bipartisan infrastructure law. So it is a bill grant. It's in the amount of $143,790. It funds 90% of the project, 5% will be state and 5% will be a local match. And those funds are available to us in our airport fund.
Thank you, Commissioner Long.
And just Cheryl to make to reconfirm, I believe, right? This is when we have to, the airport will be closed for about 2 weeks,
Yes.
is that it? Okay, just so you guys know why they're doing this project.
I won't need to take my private plane out.
Take your plane, don't land, it
Fly out of
won't be
some other
open, you
airport.
circle right around there and go right here.
It'll be conducted in the spring and we'll
Right.
give our tenants ample notice so that they can plan and they'll be offered an option to relocate their plane at one of our other airports during this time.
Thank you, just so you guys.
Motion on the table to recommend to the board, Mr. Cook, please call for the vote.
Yeah, but you, it's true, you got to find that, make the runway.
Yes, 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to take a motion to move items 10D and E at the same time, since they're both related to each other, to the board. Commissioner Rahman moves, Commissioner Spiz seconds.
Thank you very much. That'll make this introduction much easier. It is really one transaction. It's the termination of a land lease, long-term land lease with one of our tenants at Oakland County International Airport. The buildings, as you'll recall, are owned privately. The land leases are, the property itself is owned by the county. So this building has been sold and the land lease is terminated with the former owner, WLA Holdings. And the new tenant will be Boardwalk, and they are a flight school that's already operating with one of the fixed base operators on the field at Oakland County International, and now they'll be growing their business independently in their own hangar. So we're in full support of that.
Questions on this one? No? Easy enough. A motion on the table is to recommend to the board, Mr. Clerk, please call for the vote.
Yeah, just twice or do we have to?
You really are.
Yes, 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cheryl. Moving on then to our facilities section, I would entertain a motion to recommend to finance item 11A, which is the Oakland County Energy Study. Moved by, oh, and we're at 5 again, alright, cool. Moved by Commissioner Spiz, seconded by.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Oh, long discussion. I'll give you the next one.
Just fine.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, can we?
Alright, floor is all yours.
Great. Hi, everyone. So this is gonna be one of my last items in front of y'all. I don't know if word has gotten out yet, but I am transitioning from the county. So I wanted to let you all know that. I've accepted a role as a policy director at the Island Institute in Maine. I'm relocating my family. My wife is from Maine, and we have elderly parents and in-laws there, and so we're moving back to Maine to spend time with them and give them care and have support for my family. So, but it's been a pleasure serving you, and I am excited for this opportunity to talk to you about the energy study because it's one of the last pieces I'd say that I've been really pushing for since I started here at the county. You know, in talking with our facilities folks, a lot of the things that we've noticed is that we have, not surprisingly, aging infrastructure and concerns with our electric feeders and our energy associated with our buildings and our operations. And as such, it has been very challenging to advance some of the sustainability and upgrade efforts as part of our buildings in energy efficiency, renewables, EV infrastructure, et cetera. And so what this study aims to do is to understand, you know, critical infrastructure that we need to upgrade now, help us with the capital improvement planning process for what those efficiencies need to be within the buildings, and then also provide pathways to future decarbonization, electrification, and other efficiency items for our facilities and operations. It will help complement, as I mentioned, the capital improvement planning process, as well as what we plan to do for future fleet electrification, infrastructure, and also just simply make it better for our buildings because we have a lot of power outages, we have a lot of concerns and a lot of issues with our critical infrastructure. So the proposal in front of you today is to select a consultant to help assist us with that. And obviously it's been a joint program between sustainability and facilities, and so both of us are up here today to answer any questions or discuss anything.
Our went out here literally yesterday, right after Lago, so yes. Commissioner Long, I see your
Oh,
hand.
sorry, yeah, but so is our speaker thing not working today?
Oh, I don't know, I never used that. to be
Okay, well, I
honest.
used it and it
I
didn't
know
work.
that Smith Charles, Chair Smith Charles uses it.
All right, I did put my name, but it didn't come up, so I just wanted to let you know. But so are we on this study, cause it's $1 million, is it $1 million? Over $1 million. Are we just doing, I'm just worried with the transition of moving to Pontiac, what buildings we are going to be in, what buildings we are leaving, what buildings, are we jumping the gun on this study?
That's a very good question and thank you for it. In my opinion, I don't think we're jumping the gun. You know, a lot of what the study is going to be as well is to understand the changes that are happening with the move to Pontiac, really understanding where we need to shift, supporting our hybrid opportunities for our workers, what we need to do for the upgrades within our buildings. And so if anything, this is something that really needs to be done in order to really understand our critical infrastructure on campus and be able to support those decisions on how we're kind of shifting around different operations and utilization of our buildings.
But so you're going to keep that in mind of what buildings might be empty and stuff, so we wouldn't do a study on that building?
Exactly, and so as part of the conversations that we've had with the proposed consultant is to identify and let them know, you know, all the complexities of what's happening here on campus and with the move to Pontiac. And so those considerations have been put in place and are reflected in the scoping.
Okay, thank you. Good for a second to Commissioner Spizak.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good to see you and sorry to see you go. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I have two questions. First one is, can we get a little more detail on what the energy study is going to be? Because, I mean,
Sure.
a 10,000 foot study, I understand it's an energy study.
Sure.
What are
Yeah,
they
you got the
studying? A
details.
little bit more details of that for me. Being an
Yeah.
engineer,
He's the engineer.
I'm trying to want to over geek out, but I'm gonna geek out a little
I
bit.
can totally geek out with you. I'm for that. I can expand on some of the things that are related to sustainability and then Ed can expand on the things that are related to the critical infrastructure. A lot of it is really identifying the current uses. And so we have 2 electrical feeders basically coming into campus. They're aging, we need to improve them. One of the things that we've noticed though is we don't wanna just replace them with a like capacity because of the electrification that we're looking for our buildings, future EV infrastructure and efficiencies that we're having here on campus. So it's really important to know that critical infrastructure first and foremost and to make sure that we have the appropriate electricity that's coming to campus. One of the other things that is that makes it very challenging because we have those 2 feeders coming to campus with our energy billing and understanding of our capacity for energy and how it's utilized here on campus. So one of the other things is looking at how potentially we may need to improve or up the amount of electricity or make it more redundant to the electricity that's coming in because what has happened, so we've had a power outage yesterday that happened that impacted us at Waterford Oaks, that impacted us here, and so because it's basically like we're on one long extension cord plugging in lots of different plugs of our buildings, and so when one part of that goes down, it impacts a lot of our infrastructure. So part of it too is to understand what do we need to do to make sure we're more resilient and kind of a better better, I don't wanna use code because I wouldn't say that that's an appropriate way, but just more up to standard of what we need to do as an efficient campus here. The other thing and considerations that we're looking at is that a lot of our HVAC systems are tied to the steam plant. And so to understand what future decommissioning needs to happen for that, so that we understand all of the needs that come with it, especially since we're going from that energy, which is steam powered, to something that maybe is natural gas, or ideally into some sort of dual fuel for future electrification. So there's a lot of technical side of just the capacity and energy in itself, and helping us better plan for how we can site EV infrastructure on campus. What does that interconnectivity look like? How can we make sure that we have the appropriate energy sources for our EV fleet? Because again, that's been a big back and forth with the facilities folks, is like, we wanna have this investment in future EVs for our fleet, but we're constrained with the amount of energy that we have and where we can actually site. So we're kind of jamming a lot of technical analysis into this energy study. And I don't know if I've missed anything or if there's anything else you wanna add to that, but that's very comprehensive.
Anything to add on that, or you good?
So I think Erin did a very good job of explaining the majority of it. There's nothing more that I would add, but happy to answer any questions if you have any other thoughts.
Not at this time, I can reach out after if I wanna geek out to a deeper level.
Sure.
Yeah, and Commissioner, we'd be happy to share the scope too.
Yeah, if you would, I would appreciate that, that would be good. And my second question is, because I'm concerned about the dollar amount, right? The $1 million I'm really concerned about. I see there's a couple opportunities for grant funding, which I'd love to see. Is there a way we can do this in phases, take advantage of the grant funding and have to take minimal to nothing out of the general fund to help support this?
Yeah, I think that the Office of Sustainability has done the best we could to make sure this was affordable. The Office of Sustainability has contributed over half of the budget in the various grant opportunities and the items that are approved in the sustainability budget. And so I think that we can only see if there's other efficiencies that we can find. Personal recommendation is that we continue with the full scope. There are pros and cons to what would happen if we decided to do it in phases and to remove some of the scoping items from this. But again, because our campus is very complex, we're moving lots of people to downtown Pontiac, we have lots of assets that we need to understand. It would behoove us to think about it very comprehensively.
I'd be interested in seeing those pros and cons,
Sure.
if possible. And you touched on Pontiac for a second time. Would this study include those buildings in Pontiac?
It does not include Pontiac. It includes the implications and impact that everything of the move to Pontiac. So what do we do with the folks here? What do we do with the different buildings? What upgrades need to be had? Because we have a lot of infrastructure that needs updates.
The existing infrastructure, not the
Existing infrastructure.
new one that is intended to be in Pontiac. So those 2 new buildings down there are not included.
But will be impacted by the move of the different staff and
Understand.
different services.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Whitmer.
The reports and the data, and this may lead to a basis for applications for future grants for what needs are, right? I mean,
Exactly.
you have to have this detail when
Yes.
making the grant applications
Precisely.
for what we
Yep.
need.
And yes, exactly. Excuse me. Yes.
And it may also help if there's any disposition of buildings, the knowledge of what we can and cannot do with certain buildings.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
if there's gonna be a transition or sale or some repurpose.
And one of the
we
other
need this info.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things that I think a lot of people don't know about this campus is that we're on basically like a handful of parcels. And so normally each building would have its own parcel, and so you have its own electrical feed that comes to it. You have your own assets and utilities that come to it. Well, here at the campus, we are actually on only a handful of parcels. And so what this can also inform is if we do have a sale, if we do have a demolition, if we do think differently about our assets that we hear as far as land use and property, how can we be more agile and make it more attractive to future tenants or potential sale, so that we can understand that? Because right now we're really constrained with the type of utilities and the access that we have here on campus.
Thank you. Commissioner Markey.
Yeah, I have 2 points. One is, when I first took this job, it's been 6 years now, and I asked about our energy usage on campus, there was this report that came out, and I think it was like once a month, but it was really pretty rudimentary. And I just want to say that what you are presenting now and the work that's been done between sustainability and facilities is exponentially greater than what I would have expected, but it's really important that we dig this deeply. And I'm glad to see that's where you've gone with all of this. It's been a real progression that I think has been really, really positive, and I wanted to point that out. The other point I wanna bring up, and it's kind of unrelated, but it's related, and that is the sheriff wants a training facility somewhere, right? And he brings it up every budget season. And I keep saying, if we're gonna do that, I want it to be somewhere on the campus that already exists, right? And so I just wanna throw that out there, that's my point of view. As we decommission buildings, maybe tear buildings down, whatever, that be part of the thinking process. Does that fit at all? So that's my thought.
If I may leave some breadcrumbs for the future, since I am departing the county, we do have a campus study that we're looking at as well, so that we can understand, the same way that you would have a comprehensive study in a community, what does that look like here? And that's one of the other things that we've been talking about with the facilities team and sustainability is what is our actual land use? How are we utilizing the space? Where can we have opportunities for infill development and redevelopment? And so I lovingly push that onto the facilities team.
Singing to my planner heart,
Exactly.
And I'll just add, I was out of the room when you said you were leaving, and that breaks my heart. I'm really sorry to see you go, but you gotta go where you gotta go. But I think you've done a really good job of helping us understand where we need to go in the future. And that's what I was hoping for when we created the Office of Sustainability, that there would be real technical work moving forward, and that's what you've done, and I'm really happy that you've done it. I'm sorry that you're gonna go.
You're sitting at the head of the table for a while, so I was gonna wait until the end, but since we're on the topic, I am also very sad. My boyfriend and I love national parks though, and we've not been to Acadia, so
Please, is it?
I looked up where you're going, and it's not that far away.
Yeah.
We'll reach out.
Great, please.
Anything else on this item?
I do have a question.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna say Robin first, and then.
He can go first.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. No, actually, I just wanted to piggyback on that too. So Erin, it's been great working with you. I'm sad to hear that you're leaving, but again, congratulations on the new opportunity. I just hope that the Office of Sustainability will continue in the same manner after you leave. And I'm sure there's already a succession plan and trying to figure out what that looks like.
Working on
I know it's not germane to this conversation, but I just wanted to put in my 2 cents as well that you'll be missed and I hope that it continues to be a priority for you.
Thank you. Commissioner Spitz.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is, and you guys may not be able to answer this, maybe this is a bigger question maybe for finance and Glenn. Because it is, you mentioned a couple times Pontiac, and it is tied to Pontiac, which buildings, et cetera. And I'm all for planning. I know we looked at the Sheriff's Center before and we did a study for that, et cetera. Is there any way to put this $1 million into the Pontiac plan? Right? I mean, we haven't come to this board for monies for the Pontiac plan yet, any real monies, right? Because that project is gonna grow and grow, and it's gonna, in my estimate, and this is me, it's about $150 million it's gonna cost us for Pontiac. Can we put this $1 million study into that because we're tying them together a little bit? Is that something we can look at?
This
At the
campus
same
and Pontiac?
Agree, because I'm concerned that we're trying to move to Pontiac, but we're not gonna do a study at Pontiac. And those buildings, some of those buildings are probably pretty harsh, and I would like to, maybe can we link them together?
Point of personal privilege, I would love that to be a finance discussion, and we're recommending this item to finance. That sounds like a financial.
And that's why I kind of pointed at Glenn, I didn't know if you guys be interested, but that's what I'm thinking, because I'm concerned about the dollar.
Yeah.
I am. And that's why I asked about the phases and everything else, so
Plus we're moving.
if we could do it at 250 and do this at this, that might be an easier pill for me to swallow.
Not to dump it on your committee, but.
I'm gonna dump it on your committee.
I'm gonna dump it on your committee. Motion on the table is to recommend to finance then, Mr. Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Mr. Joss has a point.
If we have.
Oh, sure, sorry.
So,
Already voted.
so I had Jill join us for this meeting just so that she can observe how these meetings go, but based on the discussion, if I can just take a minute to introduce her.
Please.
So Jill, come on up. So Jill is
Join us.
new with us, but Jill is our new energy manager in facilities management. So we've taken even a further step to our commitment to trying to find ways to save energy and in turn save a lot of money along the way too. So just wanted to introduce Jill, and if you can just like real quickly maybe explain like 30 seconds where you came from and what you did for them, because that has us really excited about what you're gonna be able to do for us here at Oakland County.
So, good morning, hi. So I was the energy manager up in Genesee County for the Genesee ISD, and also a consortium of districts, K-12 districts. Up in Genesee County, there were 8 districts that was part of this consortium. So we joined together to track, manage, analyze our energy use, increase efficiencies, looking at equipment, looking at consumption. And really, over the course of that time, we were able to save $10 million for the schools and keep that money in the schools' pockets, not in the utility pockets. So, looking at that, wanted to bring that same, plan, that vision here to really look at the buildings and to really manage them and to really, making sure that we know what our consumption is and that we can also reduce waste, right? So that's part of, the plan here for me. So, with the energy study, I'm really excited about that, just to kind of understand, what the campus, what the capacity is, as we're looking for new technologies, what the buildings can manage. I think all of that will help us in this path for, energy savings.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks. Happy to have you on table.
And to that point, and Commissioner Spiz, I hear you, I mean, I know this is a big ticket item, but from my perspective, I firmly believe that it's gonna be money well spent. We really don't wanna throw money at something and then realize afterwards we should have done something different. And as Jill mentioned, this is information that we're gonna need so that we can map out our plan to save energy and dollars. And to her example of the time that she spent in our previous capacity, saving close to $10 million. Again, I think that just reinforces the funding that we're asking for here today.
And what's your full name?
Jill Diliberti.
Jill Diliberti.
Yeah, Diliberti, yeah. Thank you.
So canceled that previous vote. Okay. The motion on the table is to recommend to finance, where I think it is a great place to have that conversation. So would love to recommend, we've got Chairwoman Smith Charles raising her hand.
I wasn't sure if you voted or not yet. Thank you, Commissioner. I love all of the chatter amongst yourselves on this. I would love if we could do this before next Thursday to just know what other counties or governmental bodies that are kind of our size, maybe through across the country, if we're able to aggregate that at any point, in terms of apples to apples. I mean, $1 million for a small county versus $1 million for a big county. I just would like to know what else has been spent by other communities. In fact, little known fact, I used to do energy management back in the 08s, like the 08, 07s. And it would be everything from, do you change your light bulbs at the same time to just changing them, as they go out? I mean, just all the many layers of things that go into this. $1 million might be not enough. I'm just curious what other counties, if we have any examples of that. And I don't need that today, but if we could get that by Thursday, that'd be great.
Yeah, ask a clarifying question so that I could, is the question about the similar scoped programs and projects, or is it to understand more about how similar municipalities have utilized energy management and developed some sort of energy benchmarking or energy planning process?
Perhaps just scope. So A.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Motion on the table is to recommend to finance. Mr. Clerk, please call the vote.
Yeah, we're voting
Canceled
twice
the
now.
first one and redid it once we started the conversation.
We're voting twice now.
There we go.
You have 2 days, 4 days.
Thank you very much. We will circle back to that later.
If I could comment.
Sure.
If we consider a phase-in, I'd flip my vote. Or even if we break it in half, one this year, or one next, this fiscal year, one next fiscal year, something like that. I'm
moving too, I think this is.
just a $1 million lift at one time, it's expensive, and maybe you separate them by power versus HVAC,
I'll figure that one
different
out
things.
too.
I know you wanna do the whole thing. If there's a way to break it up a little bit,
No, what's moving, what's not.
So, okay, may I? Sure, okay,
We're gonna revisit this later and you're here for a hot minute, so let's
Yes.
just move on right now.
that's fine,
Great.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. It doesn't extend.
Moving on then to item 11B, I would entertain a motion to recommend to finance central garage roof replacement. Moved by Commissioner Spitz, seconded by Commissioner Wiper. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm
Just making
Jason
sure.
Warner, Manager of Planning and Engineering. I have in front of you today the
Staying there.
central garage roof. This is a full roof replacement, 31,500 square foot roof. The existing roof was installed in 1993. Royal Roofing is the most responsive bidder, best value bid. The new roof will meet the current energy codes. And the total cost is $656,829. And funding is available within the capital improvement program.
All right, questions?
I do have one. Thank you. I do know the answer to this, but I would like everybody else to understand. What type of material are you removing and what are you replacing it with?
Similar material, it's an EPDM roof.
Does everybody know what EPDM?
Yeah, it's basically a rubber
EPDM.
membrane,
Yeah,
rubber membrane roof, 90 mil, with insulation board underneath it. The insulation on this roof will be thicker than the old roof, right, to meet the energy code.
It's a flat
Year.
roof, right?
It is a
How
flat
many
roof.
It is a flat roof, okay.
How many year on the roof?
30-year warranty on the roof.
Sorry, since you were on that.
Commissioner.
That was one of them, but also, I know this, I hope I know this answer, we're staying in this building for sure, correct? Everything we're spending, I'm making sure we're not spending $656,000, we're moving this to Pontiac, so I want it on record, we're staying in this building, right?
Commissioner, for what it's worth, I share in all of your questions every time that this comes up, so
Yeah, I just wanna
appreciate
make sure we're staying here for $656,000 roof, this building is staying here, I want this on record when I vote, if I vote for this.
Yeah, so this is central garage, so
Okay.
it's very specialized.
There's nowhere
building.
else, and I assume that, but I wanna make sure one of us always asks this because this is a big ticket item again, so, okay, thank you.
my it's been a week. My question is, this is the roof that's exposed and open, like to the elements, correct?
Correct.
What color is it?
It is black.
Was energy efficiency taken into consideration with the color of that roof?
We've done a lot of research in the past on the color of the roof, the white roofs, reflective roofs. The research that we got back, because we have so many cold days, cloudy days, winter, fall, that the benefit of a white roof in our area isn't as great as it is in other areas, so.
Thank you.
So, yeah, the black roof actually helps the snow melt in the winter
Sure.
to get the load off of the roof and drain away, so.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Commissioner Robin.
Jason, quick question, where is the central garage? I don't know if I even know where it is. It's just north of the jail. Just north of the jail, so County Center Drive, if you head north on County Center Drive. Okay. It's kind of tucked away, it's behind the fence, it's right next to the annex building, south of the steam plant, but north of the jail, it's in between there. Got it, okay. I'll take a look, I've probably driven by and never even noticed it, so, okay, thanks.
It's any consolation, I also did not know it was there.
Sorry.
I also did not know it was there, so.
Yeah, they will give you a tour if you
Oh, yeah,
ask.
cause I've had, yeah, go ahead.
Alright, we'll do that. Any other discussion? Great, motion on the table is to recommend to finance, Mr. Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Expensive.
It's flat, it's big.
It's big, yeah, it's big.
You have 6 years, 0 nays.
Awesome, thank you very much. Thank you.
It's 2 years old, so it's got.
Moving on then to item 11C, I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board, joint project agreement modification with the U.S. Department of Commerce for use of office space in Annex 1, moved by Commissioner Spiz, seconded by Commissioner Whiteberg. Hello.
Good morning. Yes, this is a renewal. As you know, the Department of Commerce export has been on the county campus for a while. Gene Road is here also if you have questions on what the Department of Commerce does. But they only allow 1 year agreements, they call it a JPA, it's really like a lease. In this case, we've increased their rent because of the increase in the building costs, so that's in the agreement, so and they're okay with that. The agreement is for the Annex 1, they have 4 offices in there, and it appears that's it's settled down to their size of their group or their team, so it works well. It's still kind of interim, because we don't know how long they would be there or some other questions on that. This agreement has a 90-day termination clause in case something happens. So we would come back again if everything works out the same, and renew it again if there's no changes, you know, for the 25-26 agreement. So this is fiscal, so it's 24-25. If there's any other questions.
Commissioner Whiteberg.
We've been doing this for a long, long time. There's been a partnership and I mean, it's always worked out and it's mutually beneficial.
Well, they're a great partner, and we meet with them on a regular basis. We do joint activities with them. As part of the rental agreement, we agree to, we offer them, we do just a lot of activities, and it's been a great asset to us, having them so close to us, working with our companies. So it's an extension of our staff.
That's great. Commissioner Spence.
I have a question and a comment. First question, you said you had a 90-day out clause. Is that two-way or one-way?
Both ways.
So they can opt out 90 days,
Yes.
we can opt out 90 days, okay.
Yeah.
So they're good.
Second one is more of a comment, and I'm in support of this because it is a great new partnership. My concern, and you've all heard me say this before, is cost, all right? And I just want to point this out as an example. We're going from 99, just under $10,000 to just under $17,000 in 1 year. That's a 70% increase in cost that we're charging the leasing, I guess I'm calling. You know, and it's not just this isn't the only example, it's across the county. It's something that I'm concerned about, and will continue to be concerned about. Our costs are going up way too fast. We need to find a way within this county to help mitigate that, or we're gonna be, you know, in 10 years, we're gonna be looking at different discussions we're gonna have of that none of us want to have. It's cutting, but we need to be smart about what we do, and so I'm really concerned about it. I'm gonna support it. But it's a 70% increase this isn't the only 70% increase in 1 year, and I would expect next year it's gonna go up more. So that's just my concern. Again, I'm gonna support it, and it's something that we as a county need to be more cognizant about, is cost.
Agree.
Thank you.
You had comments about?
Well, I asked the same question, and I think there was some catch-up. That's what I was told from COVID numbers, and I'm not the numbers person, so I can't answer that. But there was some type of over or undercharging in prior years that was caught up. So I don't know where the other number, you know, where it's gonna go the following year, but they usually give me a couple years in advance. But I agree.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, historically, we had this, and it always came to this committee every year, and it was not a zero lease, but it was in exchange for maintenance.
Yes,
and
yes.
It was a really
Yeah.
low lease.
It was
so-
actually zero for a
Yes.
long time.
Yeah.
It's only in the last, I think, 3 years that we began to charge them.
And hadn't you told me at one point that that was a federal change, not a county
Yes,
change?
it's a federal change.
Thank you.
So I can see there's a catch-up issue.
But I guess watch it.
Other discussion on this point?
Well, it's not a huge dollar amount.
Motion on the table is to recommend to the board. Mr. Clark, please prompt the vote.
These are okay.
Yeah.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Cause it's count.
Moving on then to, sorry, I'm getting all cockamamie because of changes. Moving back to the Office of Sustainability, I would entertain a motion to move items 13 12. This is 12. 12A and B at the same time, yes. 'Cause they're related. Moved by Commissioner Spiz, seconded by Commissioner Long. Erin, oh, Erin was just here. Where'd she go?
Why did you grow that fast?
She was upset over the last
Yeah.
Right. Right. While we wait for Erin, I'm just gonna go at ease at the call of the chair.
Check my mailbox. We're recessed.
Yeah, till she gets back here, I'm good with both of them. I refreshed, cause I looked at them Sunday night, so I just refreshed.
That's okay. Sorry, you're moving quick.
Yeah, that's what I told him, he's going quicker than him. He might be faster
I'm
than
used to sticking
Yolanda
around
can hear me.
for a while.
Yolanda can hear me,
Go
look, he
walk
might be
down, so-
faster. Yeah, just come back. Yeah, he's right there. Yeah.
There we go, we're back. All right, Ms. Clerk, please, take attendance. Oh, I don't need it, thank God. All right, let's just dig right in. There's already a motion on the table.
We did A and B, or A and B together.
Thank you, yes, okay. So the MOUs in front of you today are to enter into an MOU with an organization called Energy Works and another one with Five Lakes. They are for a federal Department of Energy voucher program. It's called Voucher 3, which is renewable siting and energy storage siting. And so the purpose of this is to receive pro bono technical support to understand how we can best support our communities in Oakland County around renewable siting, battery storage siting, and to understand the technical aspects of that on the back end. One of the things we've been really discussing is that there is a lot of technical assistance for renewables. That's really not something new. There's a lot of state legislation that was passed around energy, but there isn't much around battery storage, and I know that there have been a few different proposed battery storage locations in Oakland County already, and so this would equip us as Oakland County to understand more about the storage capacity, what that looks like for planning and zoning, for example, provide resources to our communities, and as mentioned, it is a grant that these consultants receive from the Department of Energy, and then they pass on that technical assistance to folks who are interested and go through, it's called an application, but it's really an intake form if you're interested in participating, and Oakland County said, yes, please, we are very interested in participating, and so the two MOUs are for that program.
Good. Questions? Well, that's easy. All
Yeah,
right.
that was good.
Motion on the table is to recommend to the board. Mr. Clerk, please prompt the vote.
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
One easy.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
And I am now just gonna, go at ease at the call of the chair. Thanks, everyone. Now we can get our water and coffee and all that stuff.
Oh, no, we gotta say to go in closed session.
You want to recess first.
Sorry?
No, we have to do a closed
Oh,
session.
I'm not doing closed session. This is a recess. This is just a casual recess.
Oh,
For coffee.
Yep, coffee time.
okay.
Still on air, letting them know.
Reconvening the Economic Development and Infrastructure Committee. Hello, everyone. Oh, yes, we've got Chair Weber now joining ex officio as a member of this committee. Welcome.
Good to see you, David.
Good to see you.
Chairwoman Smith Charles is still online, President not voting. Yes. Commissioner Johnson moves to reconsider the vote by which item 11B failed. Do I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Markham.
11.
For Robert
Over
rules, I
11.
don't believe you can do that.
11A.
The nays have to do that.
I am.
Yeah.
He is a nay.
Oh, you are a nay?
I was.
Oh, he was.
I will second.
Thank you. Yes, item 11A. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Mr. Clerk, please prompt a roll call vote on that one.
Now, is this on the
This is on the
Seven.
reconsideration. Yes. We do want, I would love to reconsider the vote.
Yes. Reconsider because
Because
someone
it
killed
failed
it.
earlier.
So we're taking it back up to vote again.
It failed the
Because they didn't
first
trust
time.
our first vote.
I-
How's that one, Ajay?
I'll point a personal privilege this one.
Yeah,
We were
I know.
a 6-member committee and it would have been 3-3 and that bothers me, so I voted against it so that at least one of the sides won. Now that there are an odd number of us, one of the sides can win. So I would love to reconsider this motion.
But it failed with a 2-4. So
Yeah.
it's not even like it.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
He voted no.
I voted no so that we could
Yeah.
re-vote on it.
But they can bring it
It's a
back.
parliamentary.
If you vote no, they can bring it back a different day.
Cause if it's,
I need you to vote yes.
On the record.
Please, yes.
On the record.
I gotta get, no, is it, guys,
It can be brought back a different day.
why a different day? We're gonna do it today.
It's $1 million.
I don't like messiness.
What's
Get me
what's
to
a
Christmas without messiness.
quorum?
Quorum is fine.
What?
What's quorum?
We'll
just walk out.
Mr. Clerk, do we have a vote on that
They're
one?
saying.
Why is it so important?
You wanna play this game?
So-
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it's
2, 3, actually,
Mr. Lefkow
I think 4 is quorum.
an addition
That was fine.
It's 5.
topic about the grant funding that I think is relevant to the conversation.
I'm happy to entertain
That I
that.
would like to have brought when we get set up here, because I think it's important. I think it,
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you table it?
We're gonna do it.
Well, you don't want to
We're
table.
gonna reconsider the vote to be able to have the conversation. And then people can vote as they see fit. Afterwards.
I've never walked out. What am I on, my 22nd year?
You have 3 yeas, 4 nays.
Okay.
So we can't reconsider today. Don't look at me. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have the board up there.
Mr. Chair, I need a recess.
Sure.
Can't
That is the
reconsider
problem, Chair.
twice. Can't reconsider twice.
Yolanda. Yolanda called me.
She called you?
She's calling everyone.
Just now?
Yeah, she.
Gotta be here.
They're
She
still not
can't
off
get
the air just yet.
Okay. I don't know if she could hear. That was.
say.
Hi, everyone. Calling this meeting back to order yet again. Are there any motions?
I will go ahead and make the motion to reconsider the reconsideration. Or
Oh, the
reconsider
last
last
motion.
vote.
The last-
The last
the last
motion.
Duly noted. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Woodward.
Hold on. That's Woodward, or Ramen,
Yes.
Woodward.
I'm not even gonna waste time with the voice vote. I'll just have you promise that one.
I like, oh, he's got the thick Robert's rules.
So
Not
the
even-
motion is to
I have the thin
is to
one.
reconsider the previous vote to reconsider. Correct.
That's legal when Robert's rules.
Yes.
Thought it
Yeah,
was dead
that's good.
You
can
can
do it
reconsider
twice.
a motion. You can reconsider any motion.
as many times as you want to.
I believe so. I mean, it's kind of boring
We
and
can't, we
tedious,
can't on the floor ever.
So this is a motion of the last vote. It's not a reconsideration of the main motion. It's the last vote that we're reconsidering. Yes, we can do that.
Yes, not even gonna pretend.
I'll be talking to my girl.
You have 4 yeas, 3 nays.
Thank you very much. Moving back then to the previous motion, which was a reconsideration of the vote by which item 11A failed. Mr. Clerk, please prompt that vote.
This is
Oh, we're not having
forward.
discussion, we're just re-voting on it?
This is a reconsideration.
Oh,
Can the chair make a motion?
So we are doing the re-vote of the reconsider?
I am a member of the committee, Commissioner. I can make any motion I want.
I didn't get my vote.
What are we voting on now?
So that's
To
one-
reconsider the
that one
consideration of the
was
consideration.
We just voted
This is on the reconsider.
That's what I thought we
We
did.
reconsider the last vote. Now we're back to
Oh,
the
to
motion
reconsider
that,
the, item, to reconsider the
No,
item, the resolution.
it's the Brendan Johnson motion to reconsider and bring the question back to the table. And we should vote yes. We should all vote yes.
You have 4 yeas, 3 nays.
Thank you very much. I now move item 11A be forwarded to finance. Do I have a second? Commissioner Markham seconds that. Mr. Clerk, at your leisure.
No, I
Oh,
think there's.
discussion. Let's discuss. Sorry.
I think Mr. Leffler has some information that might be relevant.
Thank you.
Hello. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
So I want to say that I want to kind of answer some of your questions, Commissioner Spiz, about this energy assessment as it relates to the long-term capital improvement plan that we're really working towards. Is that when the Office of Sustainability came to present this assessment, what say for round numbers was the cost was approximately $1 million. One of the things that Erin and her team had identified was a revenue source, which was a grant, which we're looking for. But in compliance with the board's policy, that grant really can't be presented because we don't have all the approvals, so to speak, in terms of how it's going to be assured that we're gonna get the grant. Therefore,
Can I get some comment about the type of money? So it is a EECBG grant, which is a federal formula-based fund that we were given as a county. Lots of municipalities throughout the US were given them on a formula basis. That amount was $434,190. Because of some backup with the DOE, we do not have a contract in hand for that. And per the board's rules, one of the things in order to formally accept is that we have to have a contract in hand. But that money, in addition to carry forward, as I mentioned, for the Office of Sustainability budget, as well as another $100,000 grant that we received through the Community Energy Management, which was in front of this board last month. And so in total, we brought over $600,000 to help support the funding for this. And so as Brian, you know, being the finance extraordinaire that he is, discussed how we could cover that while we were waiting to make sure we complied with the board rules.
So
the other thing though too is that the choice was to try to apply that grant towards this assessment. That doesn't prohibit us from using that grant once received for a true energy project. I mean, I think from a bigger picture, I look back, what are county resources at the top level? You could use some of it for a grant, or well, if we don't have it now for today, we can apply, once we receive the grant agreement, then we can we're gonna have to bring it back to the board anyways.
and then spend that money on eligible activities underneath that grant. So my recommendation to the facilities team and the assessment team, the sustainability team was like, let's use the strategic initiative, start going forward. The other question you asked was, can this be incorporated to the Pontiac project? Yes, in terms of those dollars. But what we would have to do then is working with bond counsel when we get to the point of doing what's called a reimbursement for the general fund for dollars that have been spent out of the general fund. There's an automatic 6-month look back rule under the Internal Revenue Code. So, I didn't ask to include it in this resolution, but it won't prohibit the board from including it, say, next month or the month after, just so that we know more. So I'm looking to, protect county reserves, i.e. your fund balance, but at the same time, my concern is that the cost of this assessment is really only good until the end of the calendar year. Once again, then we're gonna have to, Aaron's successor is gonna have to renegotiate or whatever the process that they had gone through. So, the phasing in, I'm comfortable with it, because I'm always looking at terms of trying to understand how we are going to deploy those types of resources from outside consultants to get the answers that we need. As Commissioner Markin was saying, I'm asking the same questions. How do we dispose of assets? I won't know how to dispose of anything if we don't know what the true cost is to, i.e. sell the EOB to a third party, because that whole building is all, like, as Aaron said, one extension cord. So that's the information that I was going to present at the finance committee, was that we had looked at so many different ways. And actually, the reason that we're here today is that we were trying to bring it at an earlier meeting, well, the same meeting last time, and therefore we have better answers for you today. So I'll be more than happy to entertain any other questions that you may have. Hopefully that clarifies our thought processes.
Thank you. Any questions? Oh, Commissioner Smith Charles, did you have anything? Okay. Oh. No? Oh. If you ever want anything, just go ahead and blurt it out. It is difficult to see what's going on up there.
Oh, I thought she was gone. Maybe she left.
Not very
No.
well.
Nope.
You're breaking up.
Carry on. Okay, I'll carry on. Call one of us if you want to talk. I don't know. Sorry, anything else? No?
I
All
always
right.
forget you can type on those.
Motion on the
That's good.
table is to recommend to finance.
To forward the finance item
11A.
11A, the Oakland F County Energy Study.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, can I have your
Kind of
ledger?
strange,
Prompt that.
right?
You have 4 yeas, 3 nays.
Thank you very much. That shall go to finance, where it is your problem now. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Biz doesn't come to my meeting, so.
We're just getting started here, folks. Chair would entertain a motion to enter into closed session for the purposes of considering the purchase or lease of property. Moved by Commissioner Markham, seconded by, I'll second
Wait,
it. Sir?
Wafer, do we have a recess?
You say it's gonna be quick?
We can be quick.
We're gonna be quick, good, cause I'm already late.
Goal is to be quick.
All right, go
Can I
ahead.
have a second to enter into closed session?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Spitz. Roll call votes required to enter into closed session.
breather.
I'm gonna be slow.
You're not slow.
Thank you very much.
We still don't have a closed session.
We're on here. So
But,
we are,
And I presume Yolanda's just gonna stay ahead.
Don't be able to.
Am I good?
Cause he won't know
Um,
about it.
yes, you are.
Awesome. I declare the meeting back in open session, and I would entertain a motion that the department be authorized to proceed in accordance with the directives discussed in the closed session.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Markham, seconded by Commissioner Whiteford. Mr. Clerk, at your leisure, please prompt the vote.
Ah, it's cold.
Yes, 7
It is
zero
cold in
nays.
here. My
Thank
hands
you
are.
very much.
From the beginning.
Hands are.
The chair, I would now entertain a motion to go into a new closed session for the purchase, or for the purpose of considering the purchase or lease of property. Moved by
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Whiteford, seconded by Commissioner Robin. Mr. Clerk, please prompt that vote.
Yes, 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you very much. Could the room please be reconfigured yet again?
It's a long day. Glenn had a meeting before too, yours is long, I had Parks at 2 still. More meetings.
Silver's here for the.
Yeah,
My
that's what I'm
told you
saying.
it's cold, it's freezing. I sent her a text, bring the sweater.
Nice in here.
Yeah. Oh, my hands are, because the bathroom water I run in, it's so cold.
I'm declaring this meeting back in open session. I would now entertain a motion that the department be authorized to proceed in accordance with the directives as discussed in closed session. Moved by Commissioner Rahman, seconded by Commissioner Markham. Mr. Clerk, at your leisure, please prompt the vote.
You know, 'cause I don't want to mix, I don't.
You have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Oh boy. I will now move back over to public comment. Anyone from the public wishing to address us on anything under the sun, please make their way to the front of the table. Seeing no one for public comment, is there any other business that anyone wants to talk about? Hey folks, I've enjoyed EDI this the last 2 years, so thanks, that's my other business. Anything else? All right, we're adjourned at 11:31.
Yeah, it is the last.
message in